All right, let's rock.
Yes, sir. Geeks all over the globe, God. Welcome to a brand spanking new episode of Cuz We Geek. We encourage you to stay geek, man. Listen, I don't know what element I'm gonna take charge of yet. I ain't decided. It's your boy Real. Joining me is Cuz. We got Big J in the building, and BA is here with us as well. Listen, y'all. If you're into the geek culture, into geek movies and television, man, y'all in the right place, man. We talk about all that over here on Cuz We Geeks. We do this every Tuesday evening to Saturday morning. All right. So do us a favor, hit that subscribe button, y'all. Join us here for this. And also, too, if everybody can hit them likes for us, that'd be much appreciated as well. And if you guys have any questions or any comments addressing any of the topics that we bring up, add that to the comment section, y'all, and we'll address those toward the end of the show. All right, fellas, let's get to it, man. We got a nice little show to get to. We got to talk about a show, man. Episode 3 of House of Dragons just dropped, man. So we got to get to that. Pretty interesting episode. So before we get to all that, I ain't even ready yet. Before we get to all that, got warn you right now. All right. If you have not seen this episode, all right, we encourage you to go watch the episode. Go watch the first 3 episodes. Go watch the first 2 seasons. Come back. Wait, it's 3 seasons, right? We're on 3rd season?
Yeah.
Yes, we're on 3rd season.
So, you're on 3rd season. Okay, so watch all 3 seasons. Come back. Let us know what you think. But until then. Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Okay, you heard it. You've been warned. Listen, we're going to be talking about House of Dragon Season 3, Episode 3. Cuz, man, why don't you go ahead and take it away, man? What was your thoughts on Episode 3?
I liked how they showed how stressed she was. Like it gave her like with the music, it showed how like everybody was coming at her with different questions. I put this her shortcomings. I know there's a lot of them as far as her leading, but that I put that on her father because he named her as his heir, and then didn't take the time to groom her to be the heir. From having her sitting in meetings to war strategy, all these different situations, and even when it comes to taking care of the people, being able to do these things that will be necessary for her. He didn't.
But you got to remember, because he named her the heir like it's like a last minute thing. Because remember, he
No, I know, I know that, but I know that, but once he named her, he should have started going through like he still didn't do anything for her even after that.
And yeah, but didn't he die like right after that though?
No, he still lived longer. Because remember, he named her, and then he got with Allison, and then ended up having So he had time to be able to groom her up because they, especially like once her mother died at that point, and he wasn't looking to for anyone at that. It's just that's the time frame that he named her, and he didn't do anything to help her. And so I put a lot of that onus on him. She was doing what she could with everything that was going on. She also didn't help herself with like pushing out the hand as well, her hand. But them rats though. Was she at the dinner when the rats came out on that plate that she served to the rich people and told them that this is your dinner and I'm taking everything that y'all been hoarding and giving it to the people? I was like, that's how you take care of the people right there. That's how you can win hearts and minds right there. Because the right now, as you know, they're struggling because the treasure, the hand in the treasure of Aegon the second has spread out the money to the different areas to where like them at King's Landing they don't really have much, so they're just scraping along. At this point, it's going to end up being rough times, not being able to pay people. Yeah, her like I think that was by far one of her proudest moments was serving them folks rats, and then she was actually smiling when it came to giving out food as well. So it's like that sequence of you had all this happening, like you could see she felt overwhelmed. How they had the music going, constantly had people coming up with wanting to ask her stuff because she was the only one available, or the only one that these answers could come from. And then it had right that little moment, the small moments of just glistening. It was pretty good. So it was kind of a switch up as far as like not as much fighting and dragons as from the other episodes, but they did a really good like storytelling with it, and even for when it came to the air that was the fake air, the swap out and Oman, it's going to be a lot. So I didn't read the story before this, but now I'm doing an audiobook. The audiobook is 26 hours and it's a lot, but I'm working my way through it. But at this point, this has been fantastic. Listening to it and then also what's happening within the show as well. I'm loving it. It's just good storytelling. I know I'm not supposed to love it per Big J, but I'm enjoying it. It's good storytelling. When it meets my expectations of good storytelling, you add dragons, you add black folk with dragons as well. Like these are checking so many boxes, and yeah, I enjoy it. What you got, BA?
Speaking of black folk, we're not going to not bring up Mr. Court or Courtless
Mm-hmm.
or whatever his name is. And
Sea
how
snake.
he called out Shorty,
Yeah.
saying, "I did
Mm-hmm.
all these things for you, I without questioning. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't stand by my brother as
Mm-hmm.
Damon sliced my man in his face in half. Um, my riches have been burned down.
Mm-hmm.
My fleet has been destroyed. Although
Yep.
we won, you know what I mean? I did all these things for you. My wife is gone
Yep.
because of this. Like I did all this for you. And the one thing I asked,
One thing, you right.
you can't deliver. I'm asking my bastards to be, to have some type of pride next to their name. They need to be a Valorian just like I am. They are that.
Mm-hmm.
And for her to um, not go with that is shameful. I get it though, right? Because the more you do stuff like that for bastard kids, people gonna look at her own offspring, like they're not. We know they're not real. Like we know they're bastards too, right? Like we kind of know that. But the thing is, she's down to one, right? Her
Mm-hmm.
and Damon kids are more Targaryen. They full blooded Targaryens.
Yeah.
You would
Yeah,
also.
she only had two bastard kids. They're gone.
She had
Jason,
three.
the other one. So she
She
had
had three.
two.
Jace, Lucerys, and Joffrey. She had three.
Yeah. Joffrey.
Oh,
Two died. Two died already. Um. So, and honestly, I wouldn't get too hung up on Joffrey too. But with that being said, um, you like I said, she got legitimate offspring with Damon, and I think she should go with that. But with that being said, it does bring those kind of thought processes to her. So I see why she's saying no, but at the same time, this is the one guy that doesn't want to hit none of that, and he shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He shouldn't have to. And I needed this. I needed this scene. I needed to see this because not for anything that happened in the books or anything like that. It's just I was too team Rhaenyra. You know what I'm saying? Like I was too team her. I'm like, oh, she could do no wrong to a certain degree. And I started to feel like that. And I was like, well, this is the Game of Thrones universe. People gonna die. Let's just call it what it is. I ain't gonna say who, I ain't gonna say what, but people die. And I was like, if she dies, I'm going to feel heartbroken from this. I need something to weigh that heartstring a little bit. This was a scene. This was a scene because in my eyes, she's a part-time racist in my eyes. So I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with that, and that's what's gonna hold me down for the future. That's all I had, bro. That's all I had, dog. So that was one thing. Two, I guess the dumb ass of the day goes to Damon. Like, so you went to this place and you got this rider, this dragon rider, and you noticed that the dragon didn't budge. He didn't move. If any dragon would have seen their dragon rider gets taken in a certain way, they're going to react to, they're going to get they're going to get like, they're not going to stay the same as if nothing's happening. Damon, as one of the best dragon riders that's out there now, he should have picked that up along the way. So shame on him for not doing that. And luckily, Allison picked that up on it. So that's another thing. But I was saying, like, I don't understand, or I don't see how this show can operate after the first two joints or whatever, because it's like, how do you follow this? Well, they did a great job of putting you first place, like in first person of everything that's going on when it comes to switching over from one kingdom to another kingdom. Like this, I was like intrigued on all the things that she had to answer, like right away. Do you have money for this? Don't you have money for that? And and the like. So the fact that I was with her through her emotional journey. Like I said, Emma does a great job of showcasing just being emotional. So I love that about it. And I think that's about it for now. So I'm going to let you go, Rel. Those are the three biggest things that I got so far from episode 3. It still was a good show. I'm just wanting to say those are the three things that stood out to me.
Yeah, bro. I'm not going to lie to y'all. When he asked her to let his bastard children have his last name and she kind of denied it or whatever, I even yelled to the TV like, damn, he helped you out. You can't even help him out. I actually yelled that, right? And so it's just like, bro, like she was dead wrong for that, man. Like what BA was saying, like, because if she do that, then she gotta, they gotta look at her a certain way and all that type of stuff, man. Damn all that. This man literally, he was one of the, if not the biggest piece to why you won that war. You know what I'm saying?
He's like 1A, 1B.
You know what I'm saying? And so the thing, it's crazy to me, bro. We are, well, like you said, you listening to the audio book. I didn't read the book, but I do watch the like heavy spoilers and all that stuff after the shows and stuff with my wife. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, like, dang, she already took over King's Landing. Everything looking like it's going well. Everybody's happy. I'm like, hold on, we only in episode 2.
Yeah.
What's about to happen now? And so now we're kind of getting a little glimpse of things kind of starting to unravel a little bit. And I'm thinking to myself, like, once that starts happening, it's like, do you really still want to be the ruler? Dealing with all this, like you said, all them folks asking all them questions and stuff like that, man. They asking questions that you don't have answers to right now because you still ain't got your cabinet set up. So you don't have your hand, all that, right? You just found out that all your gold is depleted or whatever. It's like, so what? Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like, which is why she went and she invited all those noble people there to kind of raid their houses and take stuff out of there, man, just to survive and be able to take care of the people there, the hardworking people who are being hurt by this right now. And this is crazy. It's like, bro, what did Aegon and them do while she was over somewhere else? Like, what y'all doing the whole time? It's like, man, and that type of stuff happened, you know what I'm saying, in today's time. But anyway, yeah, that was just crazy to me, man. Like I said, this episode was a trip. Like BA said, you got to kind of see things from her perspective of like, hey, soon as she landed there, everything started to you got to hurry and make quick decisions. You got to have answers for everything, all that type of stuff. You're getting that right now in this episode, which is kind of giving you a glimpse of like, dang, this which
Heavy as
I
the
yeah,
head.
heavy is the head that wears the crown, man. And we're starting to get that here. It's crazy, bro. Like I said, this episode, I think like what BA said, is different from the first two episodes. We had straight action and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
With this one, it was straight storytelling.
Yeah.
And like you said, you kind of got it from her perspective of what was going on and everything. So, and I think too, man, when they had got the fake prints and she was looking at his hair, I think she was looking. If you kind of look at her face, she kind of looked amazed a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
dang, I could have did this the whole time. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
she
saying?
could do it to
Yeah,
hers.
could did that to her kids or whatever, right? It would have been no questions. But yeah, bro, it's this show's pretty good, man. Right now, this season is pretty good right now. I gotta give it to him. What's your Kyle Can rating on this episode, Kills?
I would drop it below 1 and 2, so I'll give it like a 9.1, 9.2. And
Okay.
like I said, it's a like I guess overall you would see it as a bad episode compared to the other ones, but it was still a really good episode. It just wasn't the same, but it was still like really great storytelling. Because even with the other two, it was great storytelling, but it was just so much action, so much just carnage happening. And with this one, it was like without the carnage, but it was just great storytelling and moving the story forward. So it's still over 9.
Yeah, I'm with you. I give it a 9.1. Like I said, love the episode. Like I said, got mad on that part where she couldn't hook up the sea snake, bro, with his kids and all that
Yeah,
stuff, man. Hook
yeah.
a brother up. He been out
Mhm.
here doing all that stuff for you and everything. Literally lost his family in his castle and all that stuff. Damn near
Yeah,
lost all his soldiers and all that stuff. He
yeah,
did all this stuff for you. Look out for the guy, but
yeah.
we'll see
All
how
he
that
has
goes.
at this point is his name.
Because you don't want to start, burning bridges with the
Mhm.
people who help get you there. You don't want to
Yeah.
start doing that. So that's the most interesting part right there. And then because we'll BA's not here, we'll gonna get his Kyle Can rating. But we'll turn the page here, man. Y'all let us know in the comment section, man. If y'all been watching House of Dragon, y'all let us know what y'all think so far of season 3. The first 3
And
episodes of
also,
season 3.
if y'all read the story or listened to the audiobook, let us know as well. Like I said,
Cause you'll
that
be
thing's 26
Jack
hours.
Jack Jack gonna be in college, man, by the time you finish that book, bro. I'm gonna tell you that right
Man.
now. But all right, bro, we can turn the page here, man. We can get to this main topic, man. This has got a lot of people. Oh, BA, you back? What's your Kaioken rating, man, of the episode 3?
Can't hear. Can't hear.
In my mind, I came through with the fire just now, but then I was muted, right? So,
Yeah.
With that being said, we went through a whole episode though, and we have to give props and where it's due. There was no Amon, there was no Aegon, there was nobody. It was just her, and it was all centered around her, and she carried the whole entire show, start to finish. So I'm gonna have to give it an 8.5, 8.7, 8. I give it a strong 8.7.
You had to give them 9. You had to give them an 8 something, man. Come on, BA.
We just said what a 9 and a 9.5 was.
Yeah,
This
but we
ain't
put it below it. We got it below the 9.5. We gave it 9.1.
Like a 9.1.
Oh, okay. Just that, that scene in the hallway where she couldn't, call them Valerians. I gotta take at least 0.5 off of that.
Gotta drop it.
No, I heard you on that one. I want to tell the cuz, like, bro, how you gonna let this dude is literally the main cog on why you got what saying you got the kingdom back, bro, and then you gonna do him dirty like that. Like you said, he asked for one thing. One thing. That's it. You don't want to start burning bridges. Like I told him too, BA. I said the fact too that I kind of knew some stuff was gonna start happening because she already won everything. We was only in episode 2. Remember, there's like 8 episodes in this season or whatever.
Yeah.
Bro, you still got 6 more episodes.
The only other thing that you really gotta pay attention to is the other dragon riders. The scene when they got knighted, the white guy. I said white because that's what he chose his surname to be. Some off the white or whatever. He really wants to be like a lord. Like he wants to have his own castle. Like he has that in his mind. And every time he brings something up, they laugh at
Damon kind of talked down on him.
She did too. because he was like, I want to be a Targaryen. They laughed at him. That's not
that's
you know what I mean? So that's one. And two, the other dude with the hammer guy,
the wife.
you feel me? Like he know that his wife is out there somewhere, right? And then where she's at, I think the dude that was burning, that the black guy that came through the door burning, saying, we barely escaped. I think his wife is there. Yeah. So she's gonna make a decision. And that's what they was talking about. Like sometimes you're going to make decisions you're not going to like. You either retaliate and burn everybody down in that area. Well, that's going to be his wife too.
Yeah.
So either she does that or she doesn't. And then now he's going to react how she reacts. So what you think is knighthood, where I got my crew here, they could be one step out the door for joining the other team. And that's what you really got to pay attention to. And she's not seeing that relationships and how important and how fragile there is. When I don't think Adam is going to flip either. But when she said Adam the Hall instead of Adam the Valerian, like that could be him taking one more step. Like, yo, you just going to say that to my face like that? It don't take much for me joining the other team. You know what I mean? I got the nuke now. We all got nukes. That's how you gotta look at it. Like, as much as they call the Hawk and Thor a nuke in Ultron or whatever. That's they got nukes. I got the keys to my nuke right here, and this is how you treat me. I'm not liking it. So you gotta be very careful of how you treat these dragon riders. So we'll see how these relationships move forward.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree. That's what I was telling Cuz, like you starting to see a little bit of the thread starting to show here, man. Where it's like it might start unraveling. We saw that in this episode where, like I said, she's kind of starting to burn a couple of these bridges. And that's going to lead to something deeper down the line here. All right, fellas, we can turn the page here. Let's get to this main topic, yo. Yep. So this question right here, this topic is going around the interwebs. I think I sent y'all a video of a guy kind of going off on this topic. Major studio heads say Gen Z does not care about superhero movies. He says that genre belongs to the millennials. Well, fellas, let's get to it, man. For those who don't know, if I'm not mistaken, BJ, you probably can correct me on this. I believe Gen Z is from 97 to 2012.
Hey, BJ is a baby boom, man.
Yeah, that's true, BJ. Whatever you said, it's true.
I said I was about to say something, but since I don't cuss, Gen Z is 97 to 2012.
Yeah. So
yeah, I'm Gen X.
So a lot of hits came out around that time, bro, which is crazy. So I seen a lot of Gen Z people online going off saying, what is this guy talking about? But what else explains the kind of that disconnect from this genre of movies to what's going on with, say, like the box office and why certain movies aren't performing and all that type of stuff?
Gen X showed us, and baby boomers.
But let me get your thoughts on this, BJ. What's your thing, man?
I saw somebody talking about that. He was saying basically that he made the analogy that superhero movies are what my generation thought of as the westerns, which our parents watched them, but we didn't get into it because that's all And you remember from like the mid 50s to or late 50s to the early 70s, late even early 80s, it was all western movies.
Every man has to do a western.
And they kind of died out, people just kind of got tired of it because we thought that was for old folks. And so they're trying to apply the same thing. I think some of that could be true that they don't identify because, like I said, kids never read the comics. You know what I'm saying? Most of these kids never picked up a comic book or been in a comic shop.
Nope.
So to them, if it wasn't on the Marvel stuff that they saw as kids, that we dragged them to, then doesn't mean anything to them. So it's like, I can get that. I still think, once again, I can always fall back to my same thought process on all that stuff, though. That if you present people with good stories, that if it's a superhero, if it's a Western, if it's a duck, they're going to go see it. You know what I mean? The people going to go see what's good.
Okay. What you think, BA?
So, like you said, we're talking about ages 14 to 29, right? That's what they will be now, or at least around that time period. So, I think the main issue is it's the younger. I don't even think it's it's Gen Z. I think they're wrong. If anything, I think it's the generation maybe after that. So whatever, 2013 to Alpha. Okay, let's go with that. Right. So I think it's mainly them because when Marvel started to, they were kids watching this. You know what I'm saying? Gen Z was kids. They was in the movie theaters. They wanted to go. They wanted to see these things. They wanted to see the Avengers. They wanted to see all these other movies. Like they was a part of it. So are they fatigued by it off of something they kind of grew up with? I don't think so. And Jay made a good point when it came to the westerns and stuff like that. My mom still watched black and white westerns. I'm like, Mom, what are you watching? But with that being said, like that was something I had to grow into and look back on. Like, why are you like that was so distant even by the time I was born? And the reason why I'd say is the next generation that's more so at fault than Gen Z is because if you was born 10 years ago, in a sense, you caught the downswing of Marvel. Like you know what I'm saying? You caught the downswing of everything. Even the DC the DCEU and stuff like that. Like that was all done. You know what I'm saying? You catching a movie here and there, and that's what you're kind of growing into. But you don't have the same connection anymore. Like it's done for you. You can go without it. You can go without Marvel. Like it's not even like a part of your pop culture thing. But Gen Z, when Endgame came out, best believe that's a pop culture reference for them too. So like that's why I just like maybe they were just talking to be talking, and I think they maybe just chose the wrong generation. But to overall to end it, it goes once again back to Big J. If you have a great product, it don't really matter. It don't matter. If people are going to buy it, people are going to rock with it. What you probably should do is try to create different ways to make these movies without having the $200 to $500 budget, $500 million budget. That's what you probably should work on. So you can see that, but you just can't throw money into a project as an owner. You just can't throw money into your team and you have a bad GM. Well, guess what? He's going to pick the wrong players. He's not going to have the same synergy, and you don't realize a Jalen Brunson when you see a Jalen Brunson, so on and so forth. Like that's not even no shots, just
nah.
And that's just what it is. So these studios are still spending money. Like, okay, yeah, that's the formula. All those other movies had $200, $300 budgets. Here you go. It's not the same people running and things like that. So you're going to have some misses because the stories ain't right. Supergirl was just a latest thing in that whole thing is you didn't have the story right. So the number one thing everyone said was it wasn't acting. The graphics looked great. It was a little destitute, but it was still good nonetheless. This is just overall.
Yeah.
They said the storyline was messed up.
And direction.
As a wrestling fan, I watch wrestling faithfully. Shout out to We Talk Combat. But at the same time, we're saying the same thing almost every week. The storylines are. The athletes are still performing well. They're still doing different stuff. They still are entertaining once they get like wrestling. But the storylines to keep you intrigued in the matches are falling short.
Mm.
It's that's what it is. That's what it is throughout everything. Everything in life you have to create drama. And the drama is what sells. If you don't have the drama, you don't have anything to look at. You see, the Boston Celtics are creating a drama with Jaylen Brown, and we're still talking about it in the off. Like, we're still going about it because it's drama and it brings people in. You have to give your opinion whether you with it or you're not. But it's still a drama. We have not been talking about the NBA this late into the season like this in quite some time. The drama is keeping you here. So have better writers. You know what I'm saying? Have a better team. Have a better screenwrite. Have a better plan. Have a better program. And you're going to see the same numbers start to creep back up. Thunderbolts wasn't too far from that. They had a good story. They just didn't sell it enough. You know what I'm saying? They didn't sell it enough.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's like that. You got to create the story. And then once you have multiple good stories, you're going to see a change. But until then, you're going to be asking questions like this. They don't care about superheroes. Well, some of these movies are selling out the park. You think they care about Lilo and Stitch? You think they really care about Lion King, real life? You think they really care about whatever Disney joint they come out? You think they're going to care? They truly care about Moana? No, they're going to give it a shot just to see how good it is because they remember it as a child. And then if it's really good, they might see it 2 or 3 times because the storyline, although it's similar, they change it just a little bit, just enough to keep you intrigued in it. That's all. Create better products.
What you got, Cuz?
I agree with Big J and BA. Write a good story, people will come. I think it is a combination of both Gen Alpha and Gen Z. Because even for like my kids, Mariah, she likes to go see the comic book movies, but it's not like top of mind for her. It's she already had plans with friends and stuff. It's yeah, I already got this going on. Well, I got the ticket. Well, I mean, okay, so she already got the ticket, stuff like that. She wouldn't
Man.
know like when it came out and stuff like that. So like it's stuff like that. It's like, well, since you already did it, I'm gonna go ahead and go. But if I wouldn't have had the ticket, then she wouldn't have like seen Supergirl. So just so yeah, that's where your Gen Z doesn't care much about it, and then for Gen Alpha is I know I haven't taken Jack to see any superhero movies just yet. It's like he's not ready for that, but he's also towards the younger side of Gen Alpha as well. But trying to do my part as far as like read them Miles Morales and stuff like that. But with the Gen Alpha kids, though, it's more of your TikTok, your short video, YouTube, and things to that nature when it comes to the entertainment. So, and movies aren't like that. Movies are extended. They run your hour and a half to 2.5 hours plus, and so they had to sit down and be able to enjoy it. And it's everything outside of movies at this point has been anything but like that. You have shorter TV shows, you have shorter seasons. Your cartoons are different as well. So it's a combination of both Gen Alpha and Gen Z, and then how uh, content creation from the short videos to uh, TV shows have changed the way that people consume as well with the streaming services. Um, for them to be able to create those cheaper movies, it'll take a systemic change of things across the board for them to figure that out. That's why they do a lot of their movies. Y'all know why they do a lot of their movies in Europe now, right? It's
Oh yeah, because
medical. Well,
yeah.
yeah, they save a
Oh
ton
yeah,
of
yeah,
money,
that too.
but
Yeah.
now you can hire all these folks, and you don't have to worry about medical because it's universal healthcare over there. So that's the
Mhm.
movie studio saving money on that part. So it's just stuff like that where it's a systemic. So it will take a ton of changes for them to start being able to save money and also like what BA said, like they have to get smarter with it. You have to get smarter people and better writers as well. You have all this content. You got to start having your directors and your writers to read the content, a little bit of the content before they actually put it out as well, just so that they can understand. Like I said, you don't even have to go verbatim of the story, but at least have the heart and soul, understand what the heart and soul of the content has, and then you can go ahead and write it, and then hopefully give us something good from that. And that's where a lot of the feelings is based. So it's a combination of different things that has led to drop off for Gen Z and Gen Alpha. What you got, bro?
What you say, BJ? You say something?
No, I was just sitting there listening to everybody.
Oh, let's go say something.
I can always say something if you want me to, but
Well, no, if you had, I'm gonna say something real quick because y'all, all three y'all hit some points, man. That I'm trying to remember everything y'all said because there was some stuff I wanted to hit on here. So the one thing I never understood with this genre. Now, whenever you see a movie that was from a book, they try their best to adapt that movie directly from that book with no issues. I never understood why with comic book movies, it's like, well, we're gonna take certain elements out of that story and make this movie. It's like, why can't you adapt it like it did in the comic, like you would do for a book? Because if you didn't do it like the book, it'll be an uproar over that. So, but when we say something about it, like, man, why you didn't adapt Woman of Tomorrow to the movie? I mean, it's a comic book movie. I mean, come on, y'all. What we talking about? Then why have a studio based off of comic book characters then? If you're not going to adapt it to the movie or whatever, right? So I think this kind of goes back to kind of what I was saying before. Like you were saying, BJ, you always say like, just make good stuff. Yeah, you do. But what was the one issue that you heard us say when we BJ and Cuz when we talking about He-Man? You didn't market it well. Like you're making the younger generation not feel inclusive when you make these products. Cause like you just said, BJ, my generation of folks, we did pick the comics up. I got comic books in my dorm room right now, right? So we picked the comic books up. So that's why I wouldn't know, hey man, that movie ain't got nothing to do with that because I read it in the comic, right? These kids nowadays don't do that. They don't do that. Hey, they go look at Cliff Notes or hey, listen to somebody tell them what happened, and then they just go from there. Right? Like, I think it's more of a nostalgia thing for us. Like you said, we had the comic books to go off of, we had the cartoons to go off of. That's what we base a lot of our knowledge of this stuff that we get nowadays from it, right? They didn't have that. Saturday morning cartoons helped us shape our childhood, right? They don't have Saturday morning cartoons anymore, which is why, like Cuz was saying, these kids don't nothing is exciting for them anymore. It's like, hey, I can't wait till this show comes out. Or can't wait till this movie comes out. They don't have that same excitement that we have. Because we have something to kind of latch to that gives us that excitement of whatever that movie or that show is. And that's why I said like it's up to the studios or whoever run the studios or whatever. That's their job to do that. You have to include these people into that. Make them feel inclusive. Make them say, man, dang, I can't wait till that movie come out. Right? They're not doing it. Yeah, we sitting here on the show like, man, I can't wait Spider-Man come out. My little niece, cousin's daughter. Okay, I guess I'll watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not excited for Spider-Man? Like this is major. I mean, I'll watch it. It's like, come on, man. Like this is where you have to do your job. Now, if you don't, now remember these kids are getting older. What'd you say, BA? You said 14 to 29. That's an adult. 29, you is a full-fledged adult. You making decisions, paying bills, all that type of stuff, right? So that means that that's a whole generation of adults that you're kind of phasing out a little bit. So that's the one thing about that. I feel like that you have to find some way to include them. Now, I don't know, like Cuz said, I don't know how that is because then they got so many different options and avenues, you know what I'm saying, to kind of entertain themselves or whatever. I don't even know how that is. We don't listen to music the same way we used to anymore, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, how do you kind of cater to that? And because, like I think you said it, BA, if we're not able to do that, you're gonna have to cut back a little bit. Not saying like, man, you're gonna do everything, practical or whatever, right? Put a dude on the string and show him flying and all that stuff. We're not talking about that. But we're talking about the fact, like BA said, stop spending 500 million on a goddamn movie. You don't need to do that anymore. You don't have to make it a big, huge extravaganza. You don't have to do that anymore. Focus on getting the story right, like Big J always says. Focus on getting the story right, and everything else will follow. You'll make the money. I use Obsession as a prime example. 750,000. Now that movie was it where at now? 400. It was 500 million. Like what we say, BA?
You know, another thing when it comes to the marketing, I can't remember if, let's say Supergirl. Let's just say the latest flop. I can't remember if Millie was teaming up with Drewski, being on Consonant's joint. You see what I'm saying? Like the people, the movers and shakers aren't just because what they do is, you know, the press tour, right? They're going to press tour before the movie comes out, so they do the late night shows and all these other things. That's fine, but you just said, 14 to 29, they're not watching Jimmy Kimmel like that. They're not watching Seth or whoever. Like, I don't even know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I fell off with Dan and Jay Leno. So it's like they not checking for that stuff. So how is even the slightest bit of movie information getting to them? You know what I'm saying? So the first thing I thought was like TikTok and things of that nature. But besides TikTok, it's like, all right, the people might not be following Millie Alcott or other people of that nature to even watch it, to even know what they're talking about. So you have to go to people that's making things happen in order for you to say, yo, this is like the next level of marketing, the Show Speeds of the world. You feel me? You gotta start connecting with these younger guys, Mr. Beasts of the world and things of that nature. You gotta start connecting with them because they're the new age, damn near media gatekeepers. You feel me? Like they the ones that got millions of followers. Not some of these network shows. They don't have it no more. So they're not doing not nearly enough to connect with them as much as they should. And I think that's a flaw on all their parts.
No, I 100% agree. Because remember we talked about this. I brought that up with He-Man. What did I tell you? Me and Cuz went with our family to the movie. And everybody in there dressed up as, you know, Skeletor, He-Man swords, all that type of stuff. But they around our age group though.
Yeah.
The trailers and all that stuff, they played up on our nostalgia. You got our money already. You got our money. You have to. He-Man has not translated through the generations like you think it has. We just grown up and now we're the ones making the decisions and paying the money now. So yeah, like I said, you have our money already. How can you get Mariah, Cuz's daughter, to be invested in this movie? How can you get my nephew, who's 5 years old? That's the age range you should be focusing on. Got little toys, little swords, all kind of stuff, right? Like, how do you focus on that age group?
I said the same thing about Jay. I'm gonna let you go because you definitely was patient. I said the same thing about Mandalorian Grogu. Yeah. I had to find. I could not find content on Disney Plus that was marketable to a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
Where does that make sense at? You feel me? For Mandalorian Grogu, Burger King, right? they had promotions and stuff like that, right? Like, where was I could not go to Disney Plus, the hub in which I should be going to, and I could not say, hey, check this out because this is an example of what you're going to be watching. I couldn't find it.
What you got, BJ?
Well, the other thing I was going to kind of bring up is, like you talk about the marketing toward the younger kids, and I think part of it goes to, if you're going to make stuff based on comic books, right? And you go into the source material. So the big event, the culmination of all this Marvel stuff coming out is Secret Wars, right? And they're based on a 1984 story.
Well,
but mostly with the Battle War and all that stuff, you know, a lot of it originated in 84. They recreated in the 2015, but even in 2015, that's still 11 years ago. These kids haven't seen any of that stuff. If you know, and if you're taking this, because the symbiote was in the 84 one, right?
Yeah, it's 84.
The Black Suits Fighting, that was in the 84. So you're talking about what, 40 years ago? 42 years ago? These kids ain't reading a 42-year-old comic book, man. You know what I'm saying? So you got to keep, like, even with like DC's been coming up with the new stuff with the Absolute and all that stuff, which is bringing heat. But you got to keep telling new stories. You can't keep going back to the stuff like you said. That's gonna be reminiscent from people our age or my age, and expect kids to be just throwing dollars at you and dragging their parents to go see it because once again they have zero connection with this. Even the parents and a lot of parents didn't watch this stuff.
No, oh, sorry. Go ahead, BJ. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you.
But I was gonna tell you, like I was watching a TikTok. It's funny. I was watching a TikTok of this like a Swedish girl. She was breakdancing, right? She was like 16, 15-year-old Swedish girl breakdancing. And she was breakdancing to The Choice Is Yours by Black Sheep. And I was like, man, I'm like, her parents were probably toddlers when that song came out. Because that song was like 40 years old, almost 40 years old. And I'm like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? But and that's the same stuff we're looking at with this type of media. When you're remaking stuff, stuff that was when Kevin Feige was a kid. Kevin Feige is in his mid to late 50s. But he's making stuff that he remembers as a kid and he romanticized about. Same thing with James Gunn. James Gunn likes these weird, obscure characters, but like I said, none of that stuff connects with people. Not like I said, he's a good storyteller, but if you're gonna go pull characters nobody ever heard of, you want people to care about these characters nobody ever heard of, and be invested in this universe that you're building with like clay faces and you know what I'm saying, and the Jimmy Olsen TV show, and like that's not how. Yeah, that's how you build an underlying universe and all that. But that's how you flesh it out once it's built by. But you can do Andor once you've had 9 Star Wars movies.
Right,
You know what I mean? You go into Andor and tell all this was happening in the background, all this stuff. But you can't start off with, okay, this little dude that nobody cares about. He's a junior reporter. We're gonna do a whole series about him. And we're gonna do a whole series about this other dude that you ain't never heard of. We're gonna do The Authority. But once again, like I said, you might get hyped for The Authority, but nobody ever heard of The Authority. Nobody knew about the engineer before the Superman movie. Nobody knew about Mr. Terrific, like the Mass Bastard. They never heard of these characters. So that's why I think the downfall of DC. I think Marvel, like I said, they're mining old material.
So you saying with DC is self-inflicting?
Oh yeah, and like I said, but it's he's playing to his strengths, but that's not how you build a universe. You got to build a universe from the top down. When you're doing it, you have to, like I said, you got to build your pillars and then flesh all the rest of it out. If you've had Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, then you do Justice League, then you can bring in all these extra characters that you've introduced already in their movies. But if you can't go Superman, or then let's go Peacemaker. Peacemaker was a good show, great show, but it was a miracle that show was a hit. You know what I mean? Because I think it was because of John Cena being John Cena. If it wasn't if it was just a regular dude, people be like, huh? Peacemaker, this is stupid. You know what I'm saying? It's like Vigilante and all these you ain't never heard of, but they put these out in front of you and want you to care about it. And like I said, he did a good job making you care about it.
Yeah,
but it's like
couple things, BJ, because you hit some points there. One, like you said, we talked about it before. What you flushing out the universe. I think you asked this question before. Is James Gunn being stubborn? And then 2, is there anybody in his circle that can kind of be like, Jane, that might not work? Because, like you said, I don't make millions of dollars, but I can sit here and tell you, it's like, hey, we said it a million times on this show. I know who Booster Gold is. My wife don't know who Booster Gold is. If I say Booster Gold to her, she gonna think I'm being funny or something, right? Your job is to you are to establish these characters and stuff like that. But what made Marvel successful when it first came out is the fact that they did establish their pillars. Then you played those obscure characters or whatever, the character that we don't know anything about, off of those characters. That's how you learn that's how you learn about those characters or whatever, right? They're not doing that with DC. It's just like, hey, whoever come with the script first will make the movie. It's like, bro, but that's if you keep continuing to go down this rabbit hole, knowing what you know from previously with the DCEU, you're going to hurt your brain before it even takes off the ground.
Well, so here's the thing, though. So what a lot of people say is, well, Marvel didn't start with the A-list characters because nobody knew, people didn't care about Iron Man and Hawkeye. And that's because Marvel didn't own any of the A-list characters. When Marvel Studios started,
but guess what they did? They made Iron Man for $2.15 too.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? So that was one of their pillars. Make it for very, I think what BA was saying. You make it for very cheap, right? You establish that character, Now they did that. You got your core of Iron Man, Hulk, Captain America, Thor. That's your core right there. Then you play the Widows and the Hawkeyes and whoever else off of those characters. But you have your guys established now. Now you can branch out your universe with those guys being your pillars. Why you think they've been failing since Captain America and Iron Man left? Because you didn't reestablish another pillar. You had those pillars were there. You didn't reestablish that. So once you take them out, what's up? Who we got? Now I know Chadwick Boseman dying kind of hurt a little bit of that too, but you see what I'm saying though. But what we say, BA?
You know, I guess the other side is, you know, when you talk about James Gunn is, well, what made him like uber successful? It was Guardians, right? Like the fact that you took this relatively unknown characters and you made them into what they were. Well, once again, this particular scene in which she did this, right? Like you remember that was from the first Guardians, right? That scene doesn't work. That whole character of these guys don't work unless you see the clean cut version of the Avengers and all these other guys. You see what I'm saying? So it showed like, oh, this is like a gritty kind of they a little different. They a little bit hard edge. It gave you the opposite of a Steve Rogers, of an Iron Man, of a Bruce Banner. It gave you the opposite of them. So it gave you people to want to like, oh, okay, it's an interest level. There's drama there because they're not like the other guys. They're a little different. They do their own thing. So if he made his fame off of that, and then I think he kind of lost it a little bit, where as though he feels as if anything I touch is going to be good. Not even direct or produce or whatever. Just anything I touch, I have the Midas touch.
Right.
You don't. You still need to go back to what got you to this point, and to your credit, to everyone's credit, is just you establish your foundation. Your foundation is not one person. There's no one center point when it comes to a house. It's multiple anchor points here. You feel me? To solidify.
But you do need to build that foundation though.
And then you go up from that. If you want to add another wing or something like that, then cool. Supergirl is
once
a wing.
You got your foundation.
We ain't got the foundation yet.
There you go. Couple things too, BA, because you preaching. So remember, y'all gotta remember this. I know everybody talk about how successful Guardians was. Who was in charge when he made that Guardians movie? It was Kevin Feige, right? You had somebody over you when you made that. So that's why you send it. And on top of that, you got to remember he was able to make Guardians because what BJ just said. You had a whole string of successful movies before that. You had 3 phases or whatever it was, right? So you were able to take that chance on a Guardians after you didn't have 3 goddamn phases. You can't do that with DC. And I think like you said, BA, you might hit the nail on the head. I think it's because his reputation. He thinks like, oh, well, everybody's just gonna trust whatever I throw out there. Just throw, Detective Chimp out there. It'll sell. Nobody knows who Detective Chimp is. You gotta establish something first for us to know who that guy is. You can't take that chance yet until, like you maybe just said, you don't have a foundation built. We've talked about this so many times. Why do you think people are saying, hey man, where Batman and where Wonder Woman at? Hell, I wouldn't even be mad if you said, we would come with a Flash movie. Okay, he wanted the pillars. I mean, like he wanted like the Justice League, right? You establish your Justice League first, like they did in Marvel. You establish your, Avengers first, and then you branch off from there. I get it. I would still want the Trinity first. That's fine. But Flash is one of them, upper level heroes or whatever. That's fine. But the thing is, you have not established your foundation yet for you to just go out here and do these off the wall characters. Creature Commandos is fine because you did it on TV, and now we watched it. My wife can sit around watching Creature Commandos like that. That's fine. That's not going to affect anything. But once you start putting it in the movie theaters, that affects you, which means that you have to establish something before you get in the movie theaters, or you're gonna have a Supergirl situation. And I think this goes back to when I talked about like Kathleen Kennedy, right? She's one of the greatest executive producers, probably the greatest executive producer of all time. Like all the classic movies that the pop cultural movies that y'all know, she was the one who produced it, right? But That's two different lanes from being an executive producer, somebody who produced the movies, and somebody who's a studio head. That's two different ones. I'm just hoping and praying that James Gunn is not going down that same road. Y'all heard me talk about that before. I hope he's not going down that same road. You have the creative side, right? But are you able to be a guy that can run a studio? We're starting to see a little bit of the cracks right now before we even began with the whole Supergirl stuff. We're hearing all these stories from behind the scenes or whatever, right? And so that's why I'm like, I'm hoping and praying that James Gunn can figure it out. Like, don't be I don't know how James Gunn runs as far as like people who he surrounds himself with. I hope he don't have a lot of yes men around him. Somebody needs to say, hey man, we actually Peter Safran, hey, we need to sit down and we need to come up with a plan to where we can build the foundation up from the ground up with our pillars to hold up our universe. We don't have them right now. We about to get 18 super family movies. We don't even have nothing for Wonder Woman or Batman. It's like, bro, you get like BA said, Supergirl's a wing. No, she's not the pillar.
That's a lie. That's a lie. You're being untruth right now. You're being untrue right now. Well, because we got Clayface for Batman. We got the Cape Crusaders for Batman. We got Bane. We got Bane.
Everything but.
We got everything else.
Hey, can I get Batman?
No. Did somebody do this before? Did somebody do this? Was there another studio that?
There was a studio that was linked to Marvel that done this before, I believe.
Peripheral characters without the main star for that universe, just all the affiliates.
Oh, and that's successful, right? They're pretty successful.
They made hundreds of dollars when they was doing that, I believe.
Right? Oh man, yeah, that's just crazy to me, man. I'm hoping because listen, DC is due for a win, bro. It's like, damn, can they get established too, man, the same way? And it's like he's starting to kind of do a lot of the stuff that we were kind of having issue with the DCEU, bro. And I'm just, to me, I really feel like it's not that difficult. It really ain't. What you got, BJ?
So, and this goes to one of the things we talked about a long time ago, and remember back, and we heard some of this come out this week. That's why I'm bringing it up. When we talked about the Batman and having the multiple Batmans, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you heard that he's been clucking heads. He clucked heads with Gillespie. They said the same thing with Matt Reeves. They said he keeps trying to force Matt Reeves to make his Batman and pull him into because they want to hurry him get Batman in DCU. But he's saying that he doesn't want to put out two competing. But publicly he's saying, oh yeah, it's fine. We're gonna do that. I'm like, that's why I don't believe what you say, because you're showing me the truth. And then they said behind the scenes, you're saying the exact same thing I was saying, that he doesn't want two competing Batmen running at the same time and trying to pressure Batman Reeves. Because like I said, everybody who saw the first The Batman, that has nothing to do, and it's a totally different tone. It would not fit at all into this universe. The Penguin would not fit in with the same universe as Superman. It's too different and too grimy. You know what I mean?
Nope. Yep.
And so you need to either let that run its course or just cancel the project and start your own. But I think, and they said that's another problem because he can't do to Matt Reeves what he did to Gillespie because it's in his contract.
Yes, in his contract, yeah.
They said he can't bully him. And Matt Reeves has final control, final cut on his scripts and on his movie. Yep. So that's frustrating Gunn because as a studio head, he can't just step in and start manipulating and stuff with the stuff that he, once again, I'm sure he would hate as a creative, but now we see that he's doing it as an executive, But I wonder what's going to happen. Like I said, when all the people who spent this $100 billion to buy Warner's, are they going to be like, hey, we need you to put out Batman tomorrow. We need you to work on it now, Because Batman is a guaranteed $600-700 million movie.
Exactly. In his sleep, yes. So, like even if you're not gonna do Batman, BJ, why haven't we heard anything about Wonder Woman at least?
Because who's writing the script. You know who's writing the script.
That's another thing too. That's another thing too.
Stubborn.
And that's why I'm asking. Like I think you said in the last show, is he being stubborn, bro, or what the? Like, bro, what are we doing? Like, you're self-sabotaging yourself. You self-sabotaging yourself. There's two things, man. He was there at the tail end of the DCEU. He saw how things were running. He saw how things were trash. Second, y'all keep hearing me say this. How do you work this close with Kevin Feige and not pick up anything from this guy? I'm just gonna do it my way. James, your way right now is looking a little shaky right now. You might want to take some notes from Kevin Feige, who has been a successful studio head. Why not? I don't understand this. Why not? Exactly. Like, why not take away from a guy that you supposedly respect and are great friends with?
Or
now I'm gonna do a complete opposite of what he did. Wait, why? Why? I'm not saying copy him verbatim, but there are certain things that you need to take from this guy and learn from this guy to be a successful studio head. He's arguably the most successful studio head in the business right now. Why not take some stuff from him? Nah, I got it. Don't worry about it, bro. I'm guaranteeing you, if Kevin Feige was over here, it wouldn't take us goddamn 55 years to get a Batman movie or a Wonder Woman movie. Like, I don't understand, bro. Like, that's just crazy to me. It's like, gun. Like, we everybody, man. A lot of people were counting on you, you know, based off of your knowledge of the comic books and stuff like that. We think, oh man, it kind of remind me of Mark Cuban, BJ. You know, being that fan that bought the team or whatever, right? Thinking, oh man, it's gonna be great. But one of us out here with a team. And then look what happened, right? So it's just like, that's why I kind of feel right now with James Gunn. Like, bro, I feel stupid. I'm like, I'm putting my faith in you, thinking that, hey, listen, now you got somebody, you got one singular vision. Now you got one singular vision. We should be good. We're not getting that right now. And it's like, I don't blame people for going online saying they don't trust it or I think this and that or whatever. I can't. What do I have to point at? One movie? No, because you're doing a lot of questionable things right now. Yeah, shout out to Big J. He called it out. He said he kind of the third domino was that last episode of Peacemaker season 2. We were like, nah, you know, he's fine, bro. One little hiccup, he's fine. And now that's translated over to what's going on with Supergirl, the very first movie that you had nothing to do with the direction. You had nothing to do with writing the story or whatever. This was your first chance to show, hey man, you a studio head. How you gonna lead them into making a successful movie? We ain't get that.
You know, the other thing I keep hearing though is people like to compare it to the MCU, and they were like, well, you know, Iron Man came out, and then you had the Hulk, and the Hulk wasn't a huge success. But I'm like, you can't afford to have those missteps anymore.
Especially you just came from DCEU.
Yeah, as much as these movies cost, and for the production, you can't afford like BA said, and we said this too. How many times have we said, as we talked about this, you got to be cheaper because once again, if you're losing and if movies aren't making $2 billion automatically anymore, when your movies aren't dropping $2 billion off the rip, when you have to fight China to get into China, then you have to make a cheaper movie. You can't make a movie that costs $500 million to make and market, and where you have to clear $1 billion just to break even, and then be like, but like I said, and we said this how many times, like when we talk about Blade, we said instead of all this stuff y'all been doing, hire Chad Stahelski, the guy that did the John Wick movies, and who wants to direct Blade, have him go direct Blade. He said he can make it $50 million. That movie would probably make $800 million. And then all of a sudden y'all be like, oh wow, this is great. You know, a lot of the movies you could do that relatively cheap. But if you do all these street level people, a Punisher movie, you know, it may not make $700 million. But if you make a Punisher movie and it's gritty and violent,
25 million or something like that,
you may make 150, 200 million, and you're like, oh. And I think they're scared of that. I think they're scared of if the movie doesn't make this much, people are gonna look at it as a flop. I'm like, who cares if you're making money? If I make a movie,
I'm about to say, ain't the goal to make the money? You just want to be in the green. That's all you care about.
Make something good, make it pop, make it like I said, make it cheap, make it good, and that's what you do. But they don't want to do that. They're like I said, they're scared of because like, oh man, people said Quantumania, it only made $400 million. It was a flop. Well, you know, you spent 180 and $200 million to make the movie. So yeah, you barely broke even if you broke even. But if you spend $60 million, like I said, if you make like Sinners, I think I look up Sinners only made what $400 million at the box office for a $25 million budget. Ain't nobody complaining about that. Nope. You know, nobody's upset. Like, oh man, the same thing with what was it? The first. Well, I was gonna say no, the first Jordan Peele movie. Get Out.
Thank you. I'm gonna say stay woke.
Get Out. I think it costs a couple $1 million to make, and then made like $500-600 million at the box office. Then that should show you the formula. Everything doesn't have to be $400 million budget with all this CG effects and tons of reshoots and all this stuff and all this fat that you got to trim. Make it cheap, make it lean, and go let it make money for you. And if you do that, then you could do the big box office blockbuster because you've made enough profit to cushion yourself just in case something slips.
How do you think Avengers got made, BJ, right? They kept they managed their budget on the movies.
Mm-hmm.
The movies were successful. They made money off the movie. Okay, bam. Now we establish ourselves. Now we can make this $200 million movie now with Avengers. This one $200 million movie and be profitable, not making billions or whatever. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah, well, listen though, like I said, I mean, I think Clayface could be one of those. It's good and cheap, but I think if you lose people with the second movie, like I say, if people check out because of what they've seen from the second movie, are they gonna come back and trust you again for the Clayface movie?
So I was gonna say something about the Clayface movie. I think this is a different situation with Clayface for this reason. What's the hottest genre going right now in Hollywood?
Horror, but what happens if the studio panics? Like I said, if they overcorrect and all of a sudden we see him coming back in, if James Gunn reinserts himself and like we need to dial this back instead of R-rated horror, we need to make this PG-13 because we need to make sure this makes $400 million to make up for the last movie. We needed some more needle drops in this one.
Bro,
we need Cyndi Lauper dropping in the middle of a fight scene with him. You know what I'm saying?
If you're not gonna let the people direct the movies, then you just go ahead and direct every guy doing thing. That's what I gotta say, bro. Just let the folk. Like I said, man, when we talked about that Gillespie part, I was like, man, that's
crazy.
That was a little weird. It's like that's not Gillespie. Like, what's going on? And then now we got the story we got behind the scenes and all that stuff, where like it's pretty much was a James Gunn production. You know what I'm saying? Like a fake James Gunn movie or whatever. So I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, you saw. I don't know if you saw. Some people said though, if James was smart, when they saw that the movie was doing bad, and I know he was trying to step in and save it, but they were like, you could have been like, hey, I had nothing to do with this. This is I let him go run, and this is the movie he wanted to put out. You know, I just
heard what John said. You said it should have Batgirled it.
Yeah.
They said they knew beforehand it was bad. From what I was hearing,
it was getting. They said low 60s on the reviews. They said it was when they were doing press screenings and not even press, but just the audience screenings.
Audience screenings. Yeah, they said they did multiple.
Yeah, I think it was like 8 or 9, and they said it was getting in the 60s. And they say when they did the face off between the Gillespie version and in his, they said it was like there was a 2% difference in the score, a 2-point difference in the score. And they said because they said Gillespie's version had the villain was more fleshed out, Krim, because that's one thing we complain about. Like, who is this dude? Why is he here? There's no. He's just I'm a bad guy that likes to eat your food. That's all he was in the movie. He was every time you saw him, he was eating. Oh, was that a pie? Oh, did you get me some? Is that a cake you done made for me? Oh, I'm eating her cereal while I kill a dog. That's all he did. We don't know why. And then he was snatching girls to traffic them. Like there was no. He was just a bad guy that did weird stuff, but he was bored. You know what I mean? There was no backstory. There was no nothing. There was no motivation.
Nothing. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and turn the page. Let's get into this real quick hit news, man. And we can call it a night, fellas. Yeah, y'all. We got the trailer just dropped. We got the first official images for Avatar Aang, The Last Airbender, man. Get y'all thoughts on this trailer, fellas. BA, what you think about this trailer, man? They got you excited, or are you like, it is what it is?
I brought this cup up earlier, the Mandalorian Grogu cup, for a reason. Because once I seen this was on the docket, that's exactly what I felt like that it's going to be very similar to that movie. I don't think this is going to progress too much of the story. I just think we're just taking a quick sample
detour
of what it's been, and that's all it is. So the same exact thing that people were saying for Grogu and Mandalorian and Mando, I expect y'all, not necessarily y'all on this panel, just like the internet community, y'all should be saying the same thing about this. It's just a one-off of one of his missions, and that's all it is. So I'm not the happiest of campers when it comes to that. I don't think this is going to be any type of saga. Like, I think Avatar is good enough where as though you could have came out with a saga from this. You could have came out with another 3 movies and him going through adult things. I hate to say like adult things, but way more mature things than what he dealt with as a 12-year-old. And that's all I mean by that. It's just, Zoku, he the Fire Lord now. Like he gotta. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the trials and tribulations with that. Let's just a lot of things to talk about. Other than this guy that looks like a bad guy from the air tribe, some kind of way. Like, okay, all right, you figure this problem out. Move on. Like, it just doesn't do enough for me. So, will I watch it? Yes, but am I like, yo, I can't wait for this to come out? Nah, miss me with it too much. Glad it's coming out on Paramount Plus versus going to the movie theaters.
So they're talking about doing multiple spin-offs too, by the way. I've got to let y'all know that. So it's gonna be some other. Yeah, so they've been trying to establish that little Avatar like universe somehow. You know what I'm saying? So, but we'll see, man. What you got, cuz? What's your thoughts on the trailer, man?
It looks actually pretty good as far as wanting to watch it. I agree with BA. It's definitely, I think it's being used as just a jumping point. It won't be anything too significant. They just, like you said, they already have a plan for other movies. So it's just going to be something to pull people in just so they can set up everything else. Like that's literally all it's going to end up being is uh, go ahead and hey, y'all know Avatar, so we're gonna drop this. Okay, now we can go do everything else. It's gonna be pretty insane if they try to do it. Hopefully, we'll do some good storytelling, but no promises. But I mean, I'm gonna watch it either way, but I definitely wish it would be something that would be instead of like that little hey side quest type of situation. I do wish it would be a moving forward story, but yeah, if it gives us to be able to see the rest of the Avatar team, some of their stories, I think that will make it pretty interesting if it gets to that point. So we'll see. What you got, picture?
Nah, well, maybe probably not if it's on Paramount Plus, but yeah. It's, my thoughts, like I said, it looks interesting. The only problem I have is I noticed they did something that is creative. We've never seen it before. We have the main character fighting someone with the exact same power set as them. That never happens in these movies. So I'm glad they're trying something new. You know what I mean? I hope it takes off. I hope it's not anything that disappoints people. Or maybe they even catch on and other movies start copying it too. You know what I mean? But like I said, we shall see. It seemed like it was kind of safe. That's like I said, in doing that, I think it's kind of a cop out. Could have did something else. Because when I saw the trailer, when I saw the other guy who had the exact same, who's another airbender, I'm like, oh, he's gonna be an evil airbender. Okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, and then all of a sudden, oh look, they all fighting. I'm like, yeah, what else gonna happen? So it's like, it was kind of predictable. Even the trailer was predictable. So I'm like, I'm sure the movie's not gonna be like shocking. It looked good graphically, from a visual standpoint, it looks cool, but we shall see.
Couple things. The one negative I had to say too about this, because BJ mentioned some other ones, I guess I can talk about too. I didn't like the Avatar state, how he looked. It looked real plain. Even in the animation, the Nickelodeon show, the Avatar state kind of glowed a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Show more emphasis on that. It just like his face like his eyes just blue. That's it. It's like they gotta fix that before that movie comes out. Chances are they're probably not. That's probably what we're gonna get. But other than that, the animation was Other than that, the animation was pretty fire, bro. I'm with BA. When we heard this premise coming out, I literally thought they were gonna have the older Aang. Because matter of fact, in Korra, BA, remember when they used to go back and like show like flashbacks of Aang doing stuff? That's what I kind of thought. I thought that was gonna be the Aang. We were gonna see the flashback Aang.
I think a lot of people thought that off top was what we said before we got on. And so when you see this, I mean, look at him. Like he doesn't. This is not the dude that I wanted to see. You know what I'm saying? This little, he look like an adult kid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to
They ain't even
classify
put
it,
the
like
beard on him or nothing.
yeah, like nothing. Like he still looks the exact same way, but just a bit
Just
taller.
taller.
Like,
Yeah.
what we
To
doing
copy
here?
the
Like we
live action show.
going in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
I tell you, I heard the secret that they're gonna hire the crew for Invincible to do the touch-ups for the special effects. So no worries, no worries.
Yeah, like I said, I did that. I was watching the trailer. I was like, why they do the Avatar state like that? There's no glow to it. I'm like, what we doing? And so, well, one thing I will say, fellas, we're gonna find out why this movie didn't go to the movie theaters. Because remember, it was supposed to go to the movie theaters, and so it's gonna be on Paramount Plus, like what Big J was saying. So it drops on the 25th. So we'll see. Like Big J said, I definitely agree with the action. The action looks. I mean, the Avatar action in any form is fire. Like the live action, the animated. Yeah, it normally is fire. You know what I'm saying? No pun intended, but it'd be pretty good action or whatever. So yeah, we're gonna see, man. I agree with you too, Big J. I kind of said that too. Like, and then on top of that, the Airbender showed up the same way Aang did in that ball of ice.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not now. Remember, the Aang was in the ball of ice because he was in the Avatar. The Avatar state protected him. That's which is why he was in that ball of ice. Why is he in the ball of ice?
Yeah, that's weird. The fact that they're setting up to be just like that's what I'm saying. When they showed him in the ball ice, I'm like, wait, that's how Aang was. So
Yeah.
he's supposed to be, he has the exact same powers. I know he's an airbender, but I'm saying Aang was supposed to be the last airbender, the Avatar, to have all the powers, been everything. Is this guy gonna be, like I said, just a rinse and repeat Aang?
And then on top of that, like the airbenders are peaceful nomads. So you come in, you like you a rogue, airbender? Like what is this? Like, yeah, you know what I mean? He acting like a Fire Nation person or whatever. Like what are we doing? Or Earth Nation or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's crazy. I thought about that too. Because at first, when I first seen I didn't see the trailer yet. I saw like pictures and stuff. I thought maybe that was like Aang, like, something happened and he kind of like let his hair grow out or something like that. I thought that's what it was. Then we saw the trailer and then it showed him. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch it. I'm a little apprehensive though.
It would have been more intriguing if that was a woman, right? So you bring a softer side, like you said. Like as soon as you see this, I'm surprised. Sokka ain't say he looks like a bad guy. Like I'm surprised he didn't say that. Like literally say that in the joint. But if you make this character a woman, then now Aang has to go past his original senses because he's like, yo, I got another person. They talking about they're the last two airbenders. Well, what do the last two of a tribe do? You try to reproduce to get more numbers out there. So it would have been made way more sense if this was a woman. And now it's like he has to go against his natural innate ability to want to reproduce just for the sake of his people. And I'm not trying to get sexual enough, but just like this real basic human nature at this point. You know what I'm saying? To get more people that look that's like him. And then you have Katara there, and then you have a whole bunch of other stuff. So that would have even played better than this bad guy that kind of came out of nowhere. That's clearly a bad guy, and clearly they're going to fight each other at the end. And this is pretty much the story. Like, I don't think we're not going to dive too much outside of what we just saw.
You know what, BJ? I mean, BA said something that kind of had me thinking, bro. When you said that, they should have let more time pass, right, within this story to where it kind of like Star Wars, right? Where looking in, they beat the Emperor and all that stuff, but then we jump to the sequels, right? Where it's like, oh, we thought everything was up and everything was cool or whatever. Like, nah, we got the First Order and all that stuff. They need to do it to where, like I said, the flashback scenes in Korra, they could have put those to those actual scenes, but that premise, that story that within those flashbacks, make a movie out of that. Like, man, what's going on?
Right before it. I'll go right before it. You know what I mean?
How did it lead to that? How did it lead to that? Like, he's already established, all that type of stuff. They could have done that. He got his kids or whatever. Him and Katara got their kids or whatever. That's fine. But like you said, have it to where right there in the beginning, so we can know, like, dang, what's going on right here? What led to the flashback scenes in Korra? That's what we should be. That's what I thought they were gonna do. I'm like, oh, matter of fact, we talked about it on the show. Me and Cuz talked about it. I'm like, bro, if they, yeah, older Aang can't kill, bro. I seen it in Korra. I'm signing me up. What's up? And then we get this. I'm like, I mean, like I said, I'm gonna watch it, bro. I'm gonna watch it. It's just, I got questions. But let's go ahead turn the page here, fellas. Get to the questioning comments. We got a lot of question comments in here, man. Shout out to the folks, man. Interacting here. Let's get to the question comments, man. We can call it a night, fellas. All right, man. Let's see what we got up here first, y'all. Shout out to Sylvester. He says, I think one of the reasons why comic book movies are dying is there's less consequence and less suspense. Now, if a character dies, that's meaningful. A person can just go back in time and save that person. It
sounds like a better story. That sounds like he wants a better story. he wants a better storyline. He wants more drama.
Yeah. So I guess he wants more like it's like, hey, really feel like there's a risk. You know what I'm saying?
But here's the question though.
Yeah, go ahead.
In comics historically, who are the only two people whose deaths cannot be reversed?
Uncle Ben and Ted Cord.
Everybody else comes back, right?
Yeah.
So that's the nature of a comic book story. Like everybody come back. Like NERD, nobody ever really dies.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess it's where we get it from. It's from the comics or whatever. A lot of people keep coming back or whatever, or have options to bring them back. You know how it is. And don't be surprised, a lot of people gonna come back after Secret Wars. Pluto says also the actor playing the real
Darian.
Darian.
From
He's
Game
playing.
of Thrones.
He's playing Link. I think I did hear about that. Excuse me. He playing Link in Zelda. So I can't wait to see what he looks like in this as a preview. He says he looked way cool when he briefly saw him in episode 1. So hopefully the acting matches. Yeah, man. Yeah. Matter of fact, we might get some Zelda news probably during Comic-Con here in a couple weeks. Pluto says, Gen Alpha doesn't care about Hollywood. It's not just superheroes. They're growing up in a phase 4 to 5 Marvel, the DCEU, post Aquaman and Wonder Woman, the worst era of Star Wars. Damn. Disney remakes after remake.
Somebody said that.
Pluto might be preaching on that one, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Jesus. What would you say, BA?
I say he ain't lying.
Yeah, he ain't.
It's a bad spot.
Yeah, it is a bad spot, man. Yeah, and I don't know how to get out of that spot. That's the only thing.
You know something funny too, though? I was going to throw in to what he's saying. I don't know if you watched Colton Ogburn, but he did a breakdown. He was talking about one of his reviews of Supergirl. He kept complaining about the editing, and he said that the pacing was off because they were trying to rush through stuff. Because they said the studio mandate was to keep it under 2 hours, and he said, and I've heard this about other movies too, but he said that basically said they cut it like it was a TikTok or something. And he was like, you already got my money. Like, take your time and tell the story. He's like, they're cutting stuff as if it's being cut for streaming, not as if it's being cut for a movie.
Right.
Which I'm like, it's like they're trying to hurry him, catch your attention. So they killed old girl's family off the rip without ever showing them as a family. So what connection do you have to this family? All they did, they showed, the opening scene is Krim coming up to the house and killing people. Yeah, you ain't see him eat dinner. You ain't see him play. You ain't see it. No,
that might have been flushed out in Gillespie's cut.
Probably so.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you're right. Pluto says no, they had all the MCU. They would have been 10 when Iron Man and Batman Begins came out. Oh, he talks to Salam on that one. Okay. Stefan says hello. Welcome to the channel, Stefan. Welcome to the channel. Pluto says I'm technically a millennial, but only by a year, so I don't agree with this at all. My younger sister feels this 100% though. He said I took her to Finding Dory, and she was so disappointed because she loved Nemo. Oh yeah, I mean I like Dory though.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Finding Nemo? No, but I liked it. I thought it was good. But yeah, no, I hear you on that, Pluto. I hear you on that one, man. Sylvester says, I feel like there are fewer memorable character arcs. The original heroes like Iron Man and Captain America had long, satisfying journeys. Yeah, many newer characters haven't had the same level of development, which is what I was saying. Why is that? because the Marvel Cinematic Universe decided to build up those characters, and you're branching off from those characters to give folks time to kind of, like you said, we're learning, we're growing with those characters. Then you kind of learn about the Hawkeyes and the Widows and whoever else that you add into the movies or whatever. So yeah, you're right. We did have time. That's what we're kind of waiting on with the DCEU. I mean, should I say the DCU? Salam says, yeah, Pluto. Oh, he probably tried Pluto on that one. Sylvester says, I think people would like to see something different. That's why the Clayface teaser trailer was such a huge deal, because it's something that's fresh, which is kind of what I was saying, Sylvester, to Big J. That's why I said I think this. Now I'm not putting your hat toys on it, Big J, but I'm just saying I think it'll be successful because it's going to build off of a genre that's successful right now. That's the hottest genre going right now is horror. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they're kind of banking on. The fact, like you said a minute ago, it's a lower budget movie, right? And it's a horror movie. So that's what they're kind of banking on. So we'll have to see how that go. But yeah, now you're right about that trailer. Everybody was buzzing about it when it came out, the teaser. He also says very predictable writing. Character arcs aren't really a thing no more. Villains ain't interested since Thanos and Gore, to be honest. Was Gore really interested though? From Love and Thunder.
They wanted Gore to be was interesting.
That's another one of those cases, BA, where I was saying why you didn't get that out the comic. If you read the comic and learn about the Gore, bro, he's a beast.
People say, two words. Taika Waititi. That's why Gore wasn't interested.
Oh my God, bro. You might be right. Salam says Clayface looks like a standalone story that doesn't have any superheroes or require universal threads to connect to, which is kind of what James Gunn is going for.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's going for, but I don't know, man. If you're trying to establish a universe, I still feel like you need your pillars, though. But I get it.
No, that's the thing. That's one thing they said, that he wants you to be able to watch any of the movies in and of itself, but then he also wants it to be a connected universe. I don't know if you can do both things.
I don't either. Which is also why he refused to do end credits. That's part of the universe building. You know, so that gets you ready for the next film or whatever. That's how Marvel got so successful. But yeah, it is what it is. We got Derry in the building, man. He says James Gunn universe is dead after Supergirl. He also says Iron Man also had 40 years of history before the movie. Yeah, he had 40 years of history, but Supergirl's been around since. Yeah, Supergirl been around a long time too. But the thing is, yeah, we know of Iron Man. I always use the example there. My wife is not a comic book reader. She doesn't know anything about these characters outside of what I tell her. But she does not know about these characters. She represents the majority of the people who go to the movies. They don't know who Iron Man is. So the way that you do that, like what Big J was saying, you keep the budget low and you market it a way to where it's inclusive for everybody. So that way a person like my wife goes watch it. She's like, okay, this looks interesting. Let me go watch it. Also, the movie is good. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're trying to do as a studio. Like comic books are for people like us. We know about this stuff. But you got to be inclusive for the majority of the people.
Oh wow, you're older than me.
You get better actors too.
Whoa, sir.
I mean, let's not act like Robert Downey Jr. ain't one of the best actors that come through the last 20, 30 years. And you know, he completely already embodied that's the seamlessness of who Robert is and who Tony Stark is what made that jump for Iron Man. Let's call it.
It really did. You're right.
Yeah, I mean,
but they caught him at a low point, though. That's part of the issue, though. Remember,
they low point, but his agents were at an all-time high. So they made up for it on his contracts moving forward.
Yeah, the first one he didn't make any money, but yeah, that's the thing. Because remember, the studio didn't want to insure him. The insurance company didn't want to insure him.
Because they didn't really trust him like that far yet. Because remember, Favreau put his reputation on the line for him.
Yeah, same thing with Terrence Howard. Both of them had to vouch for him.
Yeah, both of them. Yeah, you're right.
You're right. Backstabbed. Took all his money.
Pluto says you can't say it's not that difficult after the debacle of the DCEU. That's because he had folks who ain't picked up a damn comic book, Pluto, running the DCEU. That's why. Maybe they tried to add. Maybe they tried to add. Jeff Snyder was the one they tried to put over the DCEU. That didn't work either. Remember that? Was Jeff Snyder?
Somebody. But no, remember I was gonna tell you. I think years ago I heard that conversation. And remember when they were trying to make Michael B. Jordan Superman,
Mm-hmm.
and then everybody was up in arms because they were gonna recast Henry Cavill as him, and they were like, and then someone asked them, it's like, well, you already got a black Superman in DC, and they were like, we do. It was like the studio heads had no idea. They never heard of Calvin Ellis. They had none of the other black versions they never heard of. And when they told them that, they were like, really? And they had to go back and look it up. And I'm like, that lets you know everything you need to know.
Yep. That's a prime example right there. BJ's right, bro. God dang. Salam says DCU isn't dead after Supergirl. Just don't make absurd decisions like making a derivative character as your second film in the universe. Yes, Salam, you're right. Should have been Soup, Wonder Woman, Flash, then Bats, no Deadpool, Deathstroke, and Bane. He being funny. I got you, Salam. I got you. He being funny. He also says Wonder Woman I get, but I don't see why we blaming Gunn for Batman. Even if he could do Batman two Batmans, think of the optics. It shows to Hollywood that they don't give a bleep about Reeves as a director himself. He won't do that.
But he's the one that said it. That's what I'm saying. He's the one that said you could have two at the same time. He made it. He was like, audiences handle it. I'm like, if you hadn't said it.
Did you lie, Did you lie, James Gunn? Pluto says no character in history has been on screen by two directors at the same time, but y'all want Gunn to be the first to pull the trigger. People already think he's ignorant AF. That wouldn't help the DCU. Once again, Pluto, it's not that what we wanted. What did you just say, BJ? This is what he said.
We argued on this exact panel because I said that you can't do it.
You can't do
James Gunn said, I think the audience is smart enough to have to. Yeah, he was like, we could definitely do it. So,
and then like what BA saying, you getting you said that, but you giving us everybody other than that guy. You know what I'm saying? Pulling the spum you.
So it's let's ask this question. Let's ask this question. Do you want us to keep waiting? Like that's the other side of this. Do you want us to keep waiting for we're talking about pillars, we're talking about established superstars to carry your franchise, to make all the other subliminal characters, to make them even marketable as we move forward. Do you want us to keep waiting for Batman? Like, how long do you want us to wait? That's the problem. He should already had his own movie already. That's the problem.
I mean, these actors ain't getting any younger. You know what I mean? So, nah, I agree with you, BA. I agree with you. Did I read that one?
No, you didn't.
BJ. James Gunn shade is one of the best running jokes on the show.
It's not shade if I bring. Okay. My problem with James Gunn is the stuff he says out of his own mouth. When you tell us that Peacemaker season 2 is gonna have the greatest ending of any TV show in history of TV shows,
you had to bring that up, BJ. I was still doing good until you brought that up.
You brought it up earlier. But then when we watch the show and then we see your wife kissing John Cena and you off in the corner crying,
people mad about it. Why y'all mad for it?
I ain't telling y'all that
in multiple interviews.
No,
the great thing of all time.
No, I didn't.
Crying in the corner.
Jesus.
He might have been doing something else.
The Snyder Cult already praying on his downfall. This was from Pluto. They already praying on his downfall. No need to add to the reverse to that. Yeah, man. I mean, it is what it is, bro. The fandom is already toxic. Pluto says still waiting to see Zuko and Azula searching for their mom as an adaptation. Wait, is she? I thought she was dead. In the animation, she did.
Pulled out. They just got pulled out.
Now, she died in the live action. Remember, their dad killed her. Remember? Pluto said, "Cut PJ Mike." Pluto says, "I already saw the movie." So, oh man, Pluto, you saw it. Come on, man, what we doing? He said, "I already saw the movie, so I won't spoil it." But I'll say there are reasons and explanations to the villain. But I agree, there are better stories they could have done. I see how to take your quote here, Pluto. Are you trying to say there are you saying there's explanations? Okay. We'll watch it. You're not saying it's bad or good. Okay. I'm trying to read into your quote there. He says, I don't know why, but man, we ain't even seen him eat dinner. Took me out. Oh man. And then Islam says, gun sitting in a chair in the corner. Oh man. Listen, bro. I listen, I'm not one of them people that's like, yeah, it's over after Supergirl. I'm hoping and praying. I can only go by hope. I can only go by prayer that James Gunn does the right thing. Like BA said, please establish the pillars so that we can get this universe. We're trying to get you on par with Marvel, man. I want people to say, like, dang, I can't decide between Marvel and DC. What's going on?
Yeah.
But we'll see, man. But yeah, listen, man, we definitely appreciate y'all, man. Hey, if y'all over on Twitter right now, what you say? Oh, Bash. Oh, yeah, it said bashes her, and she has a spirit change. Her face on the run, a team avatar along with Unhinged Azula go looking for her, and it's crazy. Ooh, okay.
Crazy. Yeah, so she does that. She actually has another family as well. You know what I'm saying? And Zuko, if I'm not mistaken, is the one that finds her and reestablishes her memory in a sense. So yeah.
Okay.
It's a way to flush that. Look, it's gonna be like 5 or 6 better options probably than the one they came up with. Just call it what it is.
I hope this movie good, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I hope it's good. But you piqued my interest on that, Pluto. I ain't gonna lie to you. But yeah, listen, like I said, guys, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button. If you're over on Twitter right now, follow us over here on YouTube, y'all. Come over here, hit that subscribe button. Shout out to the folks who just subscribe to the channel here. Hit them likes for us too as well. We'll be back here on Saturday. Go watch X-Men 97 episode 4. Okay, we're gonna talk about that on Saturday, y'all. So go watch that. Join us here on Saturdays. We talk about that and other news, man, dropping here in the geek world. With all that being said, man, it's your boy Rare. Got Cuz in the building. Got Big J, B.A. This is Cuz We Geek. I see your name. This is Cuz We Geek, man. We talk about all things in the geek culture involving movies and television. Big J, man, take the knot out of there. Put Big J the hater on there, man.
First of all,
we are. I gotta say that not a hater is usually haters.
Exactly. We out, y'all.